So, I thought it was time for another episode of the old zombie storylines I haven't done in a while. It will always go down quite well, so without further ado guys, here we go. So now we're going to go back to the very beginning. It keeps getting updated as new DLC comes up, but now as all the DLCs come out long ago, it should hopefully not be tampered with anymore, because I've had to restart the series several times, but we can just link this in. If you just remember, we've talked about Mob of the Dead, we talked about the whole Doris and the teleporting and the Hellhounds and all that. Now if we just put that on hold for the moment, and we're going to go to and look at the very beginning. We'll look at World War One. So if you think about the latest DLC that came out, Origins. So if you just think about that when I tell you about this episode is going to be all about Origins and all that, and like the very beginning of when we hear about Samantha. And, well, the main characters here about Samantha anyway. We hear about Maxis a bit more, so without further ado guys, here we go. In the midst of World War I, the German research organisation known as Group 935 are tasked with creating powerful new weaponry to ensure victory for the Central Powers. During September of 1917, Dr. Maxis and his partner Dr. Edward Richtofen lead an archaeological excavation into the trenches of northern France after Dr. Maxis promises Group 935's leaders that this is the location of an unknown and enigmatic new element. The excavation not only discovers this new element but also uncovers a mysterious and ancient ruin beneath the battlefield. Dr. Maxis classifies the new element as number 115 on the periodic table of elements. The group planned to use element 115 as a power source for new weaponry in the Wonder Weapon program. So you know, like the Wunderwaffe, the ray gun, you know, all that sort of stuff, wave guns and that. At the excavation site, Group 935 installs a series of conversion generators that utilise element 115 to create localised energy fields. To their surprise, the energy fields act like portals and begin to materialise advanced machinery of undeterminate origin, leading Maxis to surmise that the conversion of element 115 is somehow capable of creating a crease or tear in space and time. As the excavation continues, Group 935 discover more wonders, such as an ancient box capable of delivering weapons from various time periods, further confirming Maxis' suspicion that element 115 has time-altering properties. Dr. Richtofen takes part in the creation of 4 giant mechanical humanoids, whose creation is only possible due to the use of element 115 as a power source. Group 935 plans to deliver these to the German army for use in battle. So you know those giant big robot things that like sometimes just step on you if you don't look where you're going? Like that's what we're talking about at the moment. It is at this time Richtofen notices Maxis start to show signs of paranoia and mental psychosis. The symptoms worsen as Maxis begins to hear the voice of a child named Samantha, who claims not only to be his daughter, at this point he has no children because remember this is the very beginning, but also that she is trapped in a realm known as Agatha and needs his help to escape. Due to Samantha's constant interference with their work, Richtofen fears for his friend Maxis' safety and grows to despise the unseen voice, because none of them know who Samantha is at this point. Meanwhile, the excavation in northern France unearths a sealed main chamber within the ancient ruins. All attempts to open the chamber are unsuccessful until, purely by chance, one of the workers sets up a gramophone for entertainment. When the gramophone begins to play music, the chamber seals opens, revealing cryptic writing on the walls. Maxis studies the writing and learns of an ancient race and their ability to create powerful devices such as an amplification rod and elemental stones. According to the writing, the amplification rod is capable of harnessing energy from the elemental stones. The excavation group has found neither the rod nor the stones, so Maxis instructs Richtofen to create 4 replica rods or elemental staffs while continuing to search the original devices. When presenting the idea, Richtofen began to question Maxis' actions, believing the amplification rod to be a myth. Convinced by his insanity, he planned to report his mental instability to Group 935's leaders, while Samantha began to communicate more frequently with Maxis, now attempting to convince him of her being his future daughter. One night, as a team of soldiers were installing more generators, they reported seeing strange and ancient figures emerging from the mound and finding many of the men dead or missing by morning. You know those like weird ghostly figures, those knights you gotta kill, like that's the ones we're talking about. As more figures emerged, now revealed to be corpsed reanimated by Element 115's powers, the test site slowly became infected by the creatures, with Maxis himself slowly turning. The reports of the creatures provoked the United States to send Tank Dempsey to the test site to investigate the group's work and acquired Dr. Richtofen as a HVT. Meanwhile, Civil War-torn Russia did the same, believing the Germans had been gearing up to unleash a dangerous new weapon, and sent Nikolai Belinsky to undertake the mission. The Emperor, wishing to seize the German weaponry for Japan, sends Takeo Masaki. As the three soldiers make their way to the site, Richtofen attempted to preserve Maxis' mind and prevent it from succumbing to the disease, and removed his brain. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing you do to a friend, but apparently he's just being a nice friend. Eventually the four heroes meet and agree to put aside their country's allegiances to band together and survive the zombie attack and Group 935's mechanical robots, while being contacted by Samantha in the midst of battle, begging to be released by Agatha. While Tank, Nikolai and Takeo agreed to help, Richtofen focused on creating a makeshift quadrotor drone using Maxis' brain, allowing him to live temporarily until a human body could be provided. The four are able to open a portal to Agatha beneath the ruins, allowing Maxis to meet his future daughter and Samantha to be freed from controlling the zombies. The zombie outbreak was contained. Months later, the war would end in an Allied victory after the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. And that's all we have this time, guys. So a lot to take in there, but basically each superpower sends like a secret agent sort of guy, like to go and investigate. I think the Germans are using Element 115 as a new weapon, and all these like old corpses are being turned into zombies from the Element 115, but it was alright, they were contained and the war ended as normal. So next time we're going to be moving forward in time to the Second World War. I believe that may be about the whole Richtofen and Dr. Schuster, all that. If it is, then we will skip that and we'll just move on afterwards. But if you do want to check that out, then this will be in the playlist. You can check out the other episodes in the playlist if you haven't done so already. Or you can go to my channel, subscribe to the channel, and you can check out the other videos, the other storyline videos from there. But as I said, it will be in the playlist. You can go and check out the rest of them on here. Now this series is not a very regular one. I usually upload like one every few months for this series. Sometimes a bit longer depending how busy I am. But I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. I hope it was worth the wait, and I will see you next time.